Yo, Still Mills, what's the deal, man? Yo, I'm at my son's football practice, and I got a little bit of time to chop it up with y'all, man. So we got to get into some shit, man. First off, I haven't really given a reaction to the Tank versus Ryan fight because the shit is disgusting. If you ask me, I'll speak on it briefly, man. Ryan came out, he won the first round. You could just see the moment was just too big for him, though, man. He was not ready to be in that ring. It was a multitude of things in there, man. I thought he'd be able to do a little bit better. Actually, I'll take that back. I think he could have done a little bit better had it not been for the catch weight and the rematch, the rehydration clause. I'm not gonna be able to get over that. I'm really not. And the second round, you saw that he was not ready for this moment, man. I don't think much of Tank neither, but the thing is with Tank, the dude has legit been in at least 3 championship bouts. The act of taking a belt off of a fighter, that is a big deal. That makes all the difference in the world. And for somebody like Ryan Garcia, whose best win is Luke Campbell, which Luke Campbell was a good win. Luke Campbell was a good win. He won 24 championship rounds with Jorge Linares and Vasily Lomachenko. That's not an easy task and never got stopped. So for Ryan to come in there and stop him, that says a lot of, that said a lot about the potential that he has going into that fight and beyond. He just refused to really, expand on it, man. The dude had a mental breakdown. He had a mental breakdown. He went and fought Emmanuel to go after that, then went and fought Javier Fortuna, and then went into a fight with Tank Davis. And he fought Javier Fortuna, I think early last year, if I'm not mistaken. He said he didn't need a tune-up. Actually, hold on, no. Let me take that back. Tank fought Pedraza, Santa Cruz. I think he fought Cuellar or another dude for the same belt at 130 pounds before he fought him. And then he fought not Isaac Cruz, but Hector Luis Garcia. So yeah, he's been in 4 championship bouts. No, I don't want. Nah, I can't count Hector Garcia because that wasn't he didn't win a belt for that fight. But nonetheless, man, he just was back to Ryan. It was really ill advised for him to do what it is that he did, because I love the confidence and everything, man, but just the moment was just too big for him, man. And even within those moments, even with him having those stipulations put on him, you just seen how jittery he was, how the moment was just, when somebody is giving you a certain amount of resistance, when you're able, when you usually look at the individual who's able to hold their poise in certain situations, man. Ryan would have success, and he would think that he could further expand that success by just applying more pressure. You dig? Tank is a lot more composed and poised in the pocket. He's catching shots. He's countering. He's able to just keep his Spartan reserved in those situations where he's under attack and under duress. Ryan couldn't maintain that, man. Ryan would have success and just go balls to the wall and just start winging shots. And it cost him in the second round when he got walked into a left straight. And after that, you just saw the fight completely zap out of him. Like he ain't really want no more drama. At least that for the time being, man. Ryan Garcia just started getting, he started following Tank around the ring. He wasn't cutting the ring off. The little jab that he does have just completely dissipated from rounds 2 till 6. It dissipated. The left hook wasn't there. Nothing was there, man. Nothing was there. He was following the dude around the ring. It was bad. He looked horrible in there. And it was corny. It was not corny, but it was terrible how he looked in there, man. So he got a little bit of confidence back in the 6th round, won the 6th round. Here comes the 7th round. He has that same bolt of confidence going into the 7th round. Like, I'm starting to land a little bit more consistently now. Then he gets hit with a body shot and decides that, he's tapping out. Now, I'm usually not a dude who says, man, nah, man, that shit don't look right. He was quitting, because I'm not the one in there getting hit. But when you also have to take into consideration, I've been in a ring, and I see how people respond to body shots. And it ain't even about being in the ring. It's about, watching. Look at Oscar De La Hoya when he got clipped by Bernard Hopkins. you saw how that body shot affected him. Tank scored he scored a shot. He scored to the body. I'm not denying that he scored. He definitely scored. But the thing is this as well. It wasn't enough leverage on that shot to cause that much pain to that dude to where he could have tapped out. He saw the fight was going nowhere fast. It was getting dark for him in there. He had no answer to what the dude was doing. His left hook just wasn't landing as good as we thought that they would. Even with Tank lunging, man, like his chin over his kneecap, he couldn't counter him effectively. He couldn't counter him like he did with I can't remember the dude's name that they fought, their common opponent, Fonseca. Even with Fonseca, you know, it was just he couldn't counter him as fast as he did Fonseca. And he looked for a way out, and he found it. When he got hit, shook his head. No, he wasn't grimacing in pain, holding his, holding his stomach, his body, or nothing like that. He just got up. And it is what it is type shit, man. So I definitely think he quit because, it was just he just didn't have what it take to give Tank a certain amount of resistance to where he can, and he couldn't even stick to a game plan. Like we didn't even know what his game plan was. He was expecting to go in there and knock dude out, and it just didn't work. And when it didn't work, it just abandoned shit. I'm just gonna get in here and hope something lands, and just nah, bro. So I definitely do think that he quit. I do think that he quit. I definitely think that, because that's how that shit looked. There wasn't enough leverage on that shot. There was not enough leverage on that shot to hurt him in the capacity that he was portraying that it hurt him. And it's hard to support him after that, because it kind of cancels out all the energy he put into the buildup of the fight, with him accepting the catch weight, with him accepting the rehydration clause, with him accepting the early morning weigh-ins, with him accepting all of those stipulations that diminish and deplete a fighter, and him having that confidence, like, I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. I'm gonna beat you. It diminishes all that shit, and you look at it like, yo, that was some sucker shit for you to do that shit, bro. That was some sucker shit. And to the mold, that was another thing, yo. I don't know what would persuade you to actually come out. If that's true, you being the mole, you're not about to get no work after that, bro. You're not, and Mongolia isn't even a hotbed like that to where they've been able to produce a breakout star on this soil to get, I think you just shot yourself in the foot, and it was just corny as fuck. I don't know if it was clout chasing or if it was real deal, but even if it was clout chasing, what do you gain to expect? What do you expect to gain after that? You're not about to get no work, bro. You're not about to get no work after no shit like that. They're gonna look at you like, nah, I'm cool on you. For anybody, like, yo, you's a snitch ass nigga. Nah, bro, I can't fuck with you. That was corny. That was corny as fuck. So, anywho, man, I don't like. And yo, what else was corny was B-Hop and De La Hoya not being at Ryan's side when after the fight was over at the presser, bro. Like, yo, for real. Like, I'd be looking for, I got to get out of this Golden Boy contract, man. Like, you need to get with somebody that's really going to be in a position that wants to, that help elevate you. These cats have been coddling you for years. They've been coddling you for years. It's just time for you to, nah. That's it. I don't want to talk about that no more. That just is what it is, man. So as far as the pay-per-view numbers, I'm hearing very good numbers with the pay-per-view. I'm hearing real good numbers with the pay-per-view. I'm hearing 1.2. I'm hearing a lot of things, man. It was a lot of, the stars was out at the fight. That was a damn good fight. Not a damn good fight, but a damn good attendance. Damn good live gate. Y'all brung them out. I'm seeing my baby Ashanti back with Nelly. I'm super beefing with Nelly right now. That was a real good turnout. So salute to the to the numbers, because yesterday I was hearing 700K. Now I'm hearing 1.2. That was dope. But you know what that also tells me? If the numbers are out this early, because we don't get numbers from pay-per-view until a week later, and it's been what, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, it's been 3 days. It's been 3 days since that pay-per-view, and we're already hearing these numbers. So I feel like what that's telling me is that, and I could be wrong. I could be wrong. But I just got a feeling like a lot of those numbers are coming from new DAZN subscriptions. I could be wrong. I'll definitely wait for that story to come out. And if I'm wrong, it is what it is. If I'm wrong, it is what it is. You dig? But usually numbers that come out on apps are usually a little bit quicker with the, to produce the numbers. I know with Canelo, when Canelo fought Golovkin, his numbers came out, a lot earlier than the actual pay-per-view buys. He was able to find that shit out through the app. So I feel like a lot of those numbers have to do with the app. And if they have to do with the app being at 1.2, then it goes to show that you niggas pick and choose. Y'all pick and choose when y'all want to count DAZN and when y'all don't want to, man. And this shit is gross. Because according to Canelo, and I had a lot of people telling me Canelo and Golovkin flopped because it didn't do the numbers that it did. It didn't do a certain set number up here in the States, but over, when you tally in DAZN, it put them over 1 million. It put them over 1 million when they started counting the UK buys and everything. When they started counting the UK buys, or the buys for the for the app on DAZN, that's when it's like, all right, yo, like, yeah. So when them numbers come out, and if it's true that a lot of those buys are due to the UK market buying subscribing to DAZN, oh my fucking God. Oh my fucking God. But the meat and potatoes of what it is that I want to talk about, and that's going to speak to what it is I want to say as well, is this whole narrative that Tank is the new face of boxing. It's asinine. And why is it asinine? They did the same thing with Spence when he fought Danny Garcia. I don't know what it is that y'all cats think. Like, Canelo is the face for a reason. There's no getting around that. Tank needed before this pay-per-view. Tank, I don't even think did 200K with Hector Luis Garcia. He, even in a situation he did 200K, it was 200K. That's not good. It's not, especially when you consider the price point that these dudes are, letting these pay-per-views go as, and how many we get with this PBC fucking flagship. So Spence did, I forget how many, he did a live gate with his live gate. I forget what his live gate was for the Danny Garcia fight, and was they took into consideration, oh man, it's COVID and yada 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 yada. Oh man, he surpassed Canelo because Canelo, he outdid Canelo in the live with the live gate, and I think buys or whatever the case may be. And I'm thinking to myself, this is ridiculous. Why is it ridiculous? Because Canelo had 3 weeks to promote that fight, and on top of that, he's under restrictions as well as far as COVID is concerned. So tickets aren't going to be available because it's only so many people that they're willing to put in the arena, so they can keep everybody, separated, social distancing around about that time. And they ran with that narrative that Errol Spence was the new face of boxing. He surpassed Canelo because he outdid Canelo in pay-per-view buys and live gate and just some wild shit like that, man. And then what does he turn around and do? Canelo, he put 73,000 in the arena the following year. I want to say maybe 6 months after that, he puts 73,000 in the fucking arena. If I'm not mistaken, it was Dallas, Errol Spence's hometown. So Tank does $1 million. He does $1 million, and that is damn good numbers. Like, those are the type of numbers that you ask for when you are trying, when you want a star, when you want someone who to be a bona fide pay-per-view star or a superstar, whatever it is you want out of this individual. Those are the type of numbers that equate to a star. But one thing we have to take into consideration is not even taking into consideration, because when you take something into consideration, you're saying, well, it could be. Nah, it's an absolute fact. Without Ryan Garcia, This fight doesn't do the numbers that it does. They both was able to bring their social media following, and Ryan's hyping of the fight, hyping up of the fight. They're trying to say that this is all Tank, and it's not. That's just a fact. It's not. Tank is not the sole reason of the success of this pay-per-view. Anybody saying that is being completely disingenuous. He's the only one who's been on pay-per-view. And what was his pay-per-view numbers like before Ryan Garcia? They were putrid. Now you put the two of them on pay-per-view together with their social media followings, with Ryan really hyping the fight. This is what you get. And there's nothing wrong with that. But they want to take Ryan's his contributions to it away from him and just solely put it on Tank, because Tank is the more known fighter who's fought at a higher level, who's been on pay-per-view, and that's just not the case. Because Tank has had 5 pay-per-views. Let me see. Leo Santa Cruz, Hector Luis Garcia, Rolly, Isaac Cruz, and Mario Barrios. He's had 5 pay-per-views before this, and they've never done anything remotely close to this. Nothing remotely close. Nothing. So I just think it's a tad bit ridiculous that y'all would sit there and try to label him the face of boxing because he had another dance partner in the ring with him to do for the pay-per-view to be the success that it is. And the fact that this, oh man, nobody is talking about the Canelo Alvarez fight. That's a lie. And why is that a lie? Because it's a Canelo Alvarez fight. It's a Canelo Alvarez fight with a legitimate opponent. And within hours of his fight being announced in Mexico, he sold out 60,000 tickets, bro. Like, let's stop playing games. Let's stop playing games. I don't know what it is. Y'all was just saying this a couple of years ago with Earl Spence. Now it's Tank. Nobody is about to usurp Canelo right now. At least for another year or two. It's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And they want it to happen so bad. Oh, Canelo's the new, or Tank is the new face of boxing. Canelo had a nice little run. I see somebody say, oh, it was a nice little run. Okay. All while they want this man to fight David Benavidez and Jermall Charlo and Demetrius Andrade to further boost their resume and boost their profile and boost their popularity. Why is that? They're asking that man to fight them more so than they're asking them niggas to fight each other. Because they understand what comes with that. With fighting Canelo. A boost in popularity, a boost in marquee value, a boost in resume. You know what I'm saying? I'm not seeing people ask of Tank to fight Lomachenko and Shakur Stevenson and Devin Haney more so than I'm seeing niggas ask Canelo to fight Charlo, Andrade, and Benavidez. Why is that? It's like my man, Ring IQ says, it's chicanery. Y'all don't hold this individual to the same set expectation. Even with Ryan Garcia going into that fight with a rehydration clause and a catch weight, y'all are not, that's a distant memory right now. That's a distant memory. None of his fans want to even speak on that. They don't want to speak on that at all, but they want to talk. They'll talk about it. It just bothers me because it makes me comes off as if I'm super dick riding Canelo, and it's just like, that's not the case. It was corny when Canelo did that shit. Why is he getting a pass for doing it? Why does he get the pass for doing it? We could talk about Andre. Oh, Canelo ain't fighting Andre. He ain't fighting him, this and that and the third. But look at all the other fighters that he's fought and look at his schedule. Tank has pulled up multiple fighters to higher divisions and beat them. And fought undesirable opponents at 135 pounds and beat them. And it's being praised. I'm about to get into a back and forth with somebody saying Rolly would beat Ryan. I'm seeing people say Rolly is weak. I don't like saying professional athletes are weak in what it is that they do, but Rolly is not. Rolly as a professional fighter is not like that. He's just not. He's just not. But it baffles me, man, how, you know, how people can just be this dismissive of one individual's flaws and completely highlight the next ones. I'm just saying, my man is arguable. I was at my man house watching the fight, and they just want to continue to bring up Canelo and just all this, like the WBC. He got the complexion for the protection. I'm like, what is it? What's Charlo's excuse for him being absent 2 years out of the ring and still holding a belt with a mandatory waiting in the queue? And there's no response to that. What's Deontay Wilder's excuse when he's allowed Dillian White is allowed to be surpassed by someone like a Dominic Breazeale who was unfucking ranked? What's his excuse? What's his excuse for fighting a multitude? Nobody in the top 10 is a champion until he fought Luis Ortiz. And this is a dude who beat Muhammad Ali's record of title defenses. What's his excuse? It's the same sanctioning body. It's the same sanctioning body. So it's just bullshit to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, in situations like this, when it comes to Tank, where we should be celebrating the fact that we have an American-born fighter, a Black American-born fighter, we should be celebrating the numbers that he did. We have to unpack it because it's contradictory. It's contradictory. And it's just past ridiculous and dismissive how he gets a pass for all of this bullshit that he does, and Canelo gets denigrated. He gets a pass for the rehydration clause and the catchweight being imposed in one fight, but Canelo gets clapped at for the rehydration clause or fighting at a catchweight. He gets a pass for fighting a Ryan Garcia, an unproven prospect practically, but with a multitude of fighters waiting for him in the queue. Like, what, you know, we still want to see him with Lomachenko. We still want to see him with Shakur Stevenson. We still want to see him with Devin Haney. I want to see him with other top 135 pounders. He's not held to that standard, but Canelo has to go out and fight Demetrius Andrade, Charlo, David Benavidez simultaneously in the same night, preferably. In the same night, preferably. We don't keep the same energy, man, and that shit is bothersome. It bothers my soul, because it's like, yo, it's just when I don't like that we don't have to be held to a standard. And even with him, he's like, they're not even speaking to the fact that he's saying he doesn't have to do anything as far as legacy is concerned, because he's already a legend in his city because of where he comes from and the background that he comes from, as if he's the only fighter to come out of poverty and hardship. Bud took a shot to the fucking head and drove himself to the hospital because of what he was doing out here in Omaha, Nebraska on the north side, dog. Dice games. It's a real nigga. Baltimore as a city, is Omaha worse than Baltimore? No. Baltimore has a far bigger, a far more sizable black demographic. And that's not just saying blacks are inadvertently bad. It's just even, you know, with the genetics and everything, not genetics, but eugenics and everything being attached to us, that we just have this gene in us that just makes us wild individuals who are just prone to violence and just anarchy. No, that's not the case. When you have a black demographic, 9 times out of 10, social ills have been put over the black community, where it's just it's a perpetual black a black cloud that's hauled over us, and it causes chaos. It causes delinquency out of us. That's just a fact. Over police communities, that is a fact. A revolving door to the, you know, being the literal numerical minority in this country, but the half of the prison population, that shit is wild. That's gonna cause chaos. A deprived community economically, that's gonna cause chaos, my nigga. That's what it is. And you replace that deprived community economically with a substance that is you can either become a victim to it, or you could become, you know, a profit off of it, or make a profit off of it. That's going to cause chaos, bro. And that happens in Black America. That happens in Black America. So when it's a seismic black population, yeah, that it's gonna make that much more of that much more of a chaotic city, which Baltimore is. I'm not saying Omaha is worse than Baltimore. I'm not saying that at all. So I don't want people thinking that I'm saying Omaha is worse than Baltimore. I'm not. What I'm saying is the hood is everywhere. Wherever it's a section of niggas at, the hood is, that's where the hood is at. And my point is, you're not the only one to come from them strenuous environments and conditions to where you should be, oh, no, man, I don't need to do nothing else. I'm already a legend. You don't need to, nah, bro. No, you're not the only one to come from that. You're not the only one to come from that. And your fans would congratulate that. Your fans would just completely disregard that. They would completely disregard that. So I'm just saying, man, when do we get back to keeping the same fucking energy, my nigga? Like, it's, we have to get out of this notion that because, skin folk is kinfolk. We don't have to hold our own feet to the fire because, it's going against the code. That's not the business, bro. That's not the business. We should be celebrating Tank's accomplishment. But we should also be letting it be known that Tank was not the only one who contributed to the million views. If they did do a million. We should be letting it be known that if the zone is a contributor to those 1.2 that we're hearing about, then how do you go back and denigrate Canelo's million pay-per-view buy with Golovkin? How do we go back and right that wrong? How do we do that? You dig? It's just way too many variables what I'm seeing with these niggas where it's, it's asinine to me, man. And I don't know if why the fuck am I the only one seeing this shit? You dig what I'm saying? Do we get to calling out Tank for the rehydration clause and the catch weight in one fight? Like, how do you go back and right the wrong of Canelo Alvarez with his catch weights and his rehydration clauses when they wasn't in the same, they wasn't necessarily done in the same fight? How do we get back to doing that? Like, how do you go back and right that wrong? Give corrective action. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm getting at, family. That's all I'm getting at. That's all I'm getting at. You dig? Do we get to call out? I mean, shit, when Canelo pulled up Amir Khan, he got clapped at for it. He got clapped at, as he should have. He didn't need to be fighting Amir Khan. What the fuck are you doing fighting him for? That dude has been comatose at 140 pounds. Why are you fighting him at 160? You know what I'm saying? So now can we go back and say, yo, Tank, why are you pulling up Hector Luis Garcia? Why are you bringing him up? The variables, bro. Can we, at least when we can get to an even playing field, when we can be critical of both, that's when it's like, all right, cool. Like, I don't have to call, like, I can call out a fighter that I'm favorable of on his bullshit and keep it an even playing field as long as you're doing that with yours. We can congratulate him and we can, we can say that we can give constructive criticism or just let it be known, man, that shit was whack, bro. That shit is corny. So that's all I'm asking for, man. And I just want fairness across the board. I just want fairness across the board. And I'm not getting that shit with a lot of niggas, man. I get knee-jerk reactions and niggas who live in the moment. I get niggas who just can't wait to say, yo, Canelo is no longer the face of the sport. And then when he does some wild shit without needing the dance partners that y'all want him to, y'all want to continue to denigrate him. Like, God fucking damn it. God damn it, you know what I'm saying? Canelo didn't need, he sold a fight with Caleb Plant, dog, a nigga who nobody knew. And Tank did 1.2 with Ryan Garcia with the same, a bigger social media following. And he was able to parlay that fight into a $1.2 million pay-per-view buys. That is dope. That's definitely dope. But let's look at the variables. If Tank can do this, if he can replicate these numbers in the next fight, we may be on to something. We definitely are looking at the next subtraction in this face. We definitely are doing that shit. But if Canelo does, if he's able to replicate, if he's able to continue to replicate the numbers that he's been replicating, with the fighters that he's fighting, then how is Tank the face of the sport? Y'all let me know what the fuck y'all think, bro. Cause this shit is, it's a head scratcher with me, man. Arguing with people, man, and seeing the shit that these niggas say, man. I'm out, man. Deuces.